My name is Mohammed Shan and I appear on behalf of Miss Betsy Brimington Smith. I would like to start off by addressing Miss Smith's previous convictions, then I would like to address the current incident, and I would like to conclude by looking at Miss Smith's background.
Continue, Mr. Shan, please.
Miss Smith has two previous convictions, one which was 1 year ago and another one which was 2 years ago. Both of these two were directly related to Miss Smith's backlash against hunting practices, and this also appears to be a motive for this current incident. 2 years ago, Miss Smith was convicted for assault, and 1 year ago she was convicted for criminal damage, as in this current incident. Neither of these two incidents resulted in a custodial sentence, which may show sympathy from the courts towards Ms. Smith. It is clear that these previous convictions have not altered her own beliefs in relation to hunting, and their approach to combating this issue has been misguided. Any sentence given by the court may want to consider alternative methods to punitive punishment, as this is not working for her. Perhaps attending a course set by the court may be more appropriate for Miss Smith. This was not a stranger crime because it was done on Miss Smith's father's land. There were no people present at the time of the incident, and no individual person was threatened or harmed in any way. Currently, we are unaware of the current location of the dogs. They were set free into the countryside and were not directly harmed by the criminal damage. While the acts could be argued to be an aggravating factor, again, no one was present and no individual person was harmed or threatened. Miss Smith is still young and has very strong anti-hunting feelings. She seems to have been distracted by her parents' potential divorce, and this has also had a direct effect on her education. While Miss Smith has shown that she does not show an appreciation for this incident, this can be pinned to her utter dislike of the practice of hunting and the misguided approach in protesting this problem. It is more certainly a possibility that she could undertake future peaceful protests in the future by to achieve a aim by having the right encouragement and the guidance from the probation services or from some local charities. Ms. Smith has a strong relationship with her mother, and it is possible that any sentence that may be passed by the court could have a direct effect on her relationship with her mother, and also it could have an effect on her education. It is stated that while she is unhappy, she shows promise. While she is unemployed, she has shown promise in writing articles and poems, some of which have been published in journals, and any sentence that could be given by the court could have a direct effect on her being able to progress in this area. In conclusion, I would like to say Ms. Smith is misguided, and punitive punishment would not be the best approach. And the crime was not a highly dangerous one, and there were no people present and no individual person was harmed. She has been distracted and unhappy at home and at school, and a punitive punishment would not be the best way in addressing Miss Smith's issues. Is there any questions that I might be able to assist you with, sir?
Yes, Mr. Shan. You suggest that punitive punishment would not be the correct manner in which to deal with Miss Brimington Smythe, I believe. What would counsel's suggestion be with regards to punishment of a crime of which has already been committed? Perhaps a conditional discharge?
A conditional discharge would be more appropriate for her, and because punitive punishment, is not making any, it wouldn't make any difference here because she has very strong anti-hunting feelings. And the best thing for her would be to maybe attend some kind of course or get some counselling and get some proper help and the guidance to assist her with protesting this problem.
Well, I can't disagree with you on that, Mr. Shan. I do think that Miss Smythe seems to be as you said in your submission, a rather misguided soul, and perhaps counselling on the breakdown of her parents' divorce is the correct manner to go into. You said that Miss Smythe writes poetry, and some of which have been submitted for articles and journals and stuff, which is applaudable, one might say. As far as her education goes, as far as I'm aware, Miss Smythe comes from a family of means. She's not had to want for anything. Is Miss Smythe willing to, or has she already taken steps to gain further qualifications, perhaps? Carry on with her education?
It was stated that she has filled in an application form for enrolment for this academic year in college.
Right, so Miss Smythe is trying to regain her education, or carry on her education, one might say. If I were to grant the conditional discharge or the conditional bail into which you asked me to, and quite rightly so, I'd say, counsel, as seen as her previous convictions weren't of an extraordinarily violent manner, no, they didn't put the public in danger, and Miss Smythe seems to be aware of the public's whereabouts and safety when committing the offence. I would certainly wish to impose a fine, sort of some monetary value onto Miss Smythe, perhaps to compensate for the damage onto her parents' farmyard, although I don't see how that'll be worth it, since no doubt her parents will pay the fine for her. But there will be some kind of monetary fine and perhaps a 2-year conditional discharge for her. What sort of monetary value and where would you suggest that the money goes to on the fine?
The money that's being paid.
Yeah, let's say, for example's sake, I was to impose £1,000 fine on Miss Smythe.
Yeah.
The money, where should it be handed to a anti-hunting organisation,
It could
or
be given to some organisation which would be able to assist Miss Smith in being able to address issues and who would be able to give her the right guidance.
so it's your submission that Miss Smith should should undertake some counselling
Yes.
to help her overcome the unfortunate breakdown of her parents' marriage.
Yes.
B, that if I was to impose a custodial sentence on her, it would affect the relationship between her and her mother. C, Miss Smythe has taken, and I'm assuming she's been accepted to study further in the start of the next academic year.
Yes.
So by imposing a custodial sentence on her, she will no doubt lose her place and her education will be shot once again, one might ask. What about the relationship between her and her father? As we know, this is her father's land,
Yes.
and it was her father's hunting dogs that Miss Smythe had released.
Yes.
What is the state of the relationship currently between Miss Smythe and her father?
They don't have, as far as I am aware, they have no strong bond because, again, it's because of Miss Smith's dislike of the practice of hunting, and as far as I'm aware, they don't have a very strong bond, the father and daughter.
So would it be your submission, perhaps, that if I were to grant the conditional discharge, and Miss Smythe was to undertake the counselling and go down the correct routes of protest against the practice of hunting, that perhaps a relationship can be built between Miss Smythe and her father.
Yes, that would be.
Well, Mr. Khan, Mr. Shan, sorry, unfortunately, I shall grant Miss Smythe conditional bail. However, if she reoffends within the next 2 years,
Yeah.
her conditions of discharge will be broken,
Yeah.
and she will be sent back to jail to fill the rest of her sentence.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Shan. You may be seated.
Thank you.